How's it going, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Wednesday, June 19th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Hope you guys are doing great. Good to be here with all of you, as usual. Don't forget, my reading sale is going to be over on the 21st, which I think is Friday. There's 2 slots left, so if you want to book, the link to my booking website is in the description of this video, along with all of my other social media platforms. So if you're new here, go check all of that out. Leave a comment, like this video, say what's up, subscribe to the channel if you are new. So get on that ASAP. This moon is going to be wrapping up in Scorpio today, and we're almost one whole sign away from where this full moon in Capricorn is going to be at 1 degrees of Capricorn. And we're going to have 2 full moons in Capricorn, which I think is very significant, with both full moons happening at 1 degrees and 29 degrees, which is where Pluto is going to retrograde back to at 29. And we're going to have a full moon there before Pluto retrogrades back to Capricorn here in August, September time. So with this moon, as soon as we come into Wednesday, this moon is going to be opposing Uranus. So there can be some emotional shocks, some revelations, some downloads that come through today, especially as anything associated with our values, our desires, anything on an unconscious level that now becomes unconscious. So it's like when this moon opposes Uranus, it's like looking deep inward and reflecting upon your inner unconscious space and really looking at things and really starting to make new connections and understand things that can be really kind of shocking on an emotional level. So there, and even in the world today, we can definitely see some shocking things and some triggers really start to occur. Because look, this Mars getting, almost to the second decan here. I mean, it's about to be 15 degrees away by the end of this week, away from this conjunction with Uranus, which is going to be really intense. I think July, I'm just going to say it, July is going to be one of the most intense months of this year. And it's not like a good or bad thing. It's just with Uranus, everything is just intense and extreme and, unpredictable and somewhat shocking, So preparing for that, because it is going to be at 26 degrees, and this moon opposing today can really bring some massive revelations, and definitely some emotional conversations, about where our desires are not being met, where our values are not being met, right? And we've been really working these things out, especially yesterday when we had the Mercury-Venus conjunction, or Monday, and when the moon trines Saturn, we're really starting to get on the other side of being able to communicate openly and on an emotional level, because we're moving into Cancer season here. We're 2 days away from the solstice. So, this is really bringing us into this very emotional place, So this moon opposing Uranus today too can really help us kind of break some habits, really break a routine, or something comes up where you can't do your normal route, even taking a different way to work, or taking a different way to the grocery store, or going to a different grocery store, trying different new things, can lead you to some interesting new understandings or interesting new experiences, that can really impact you on an emotional level, and in subtle ways and very big extreme ways, because it's Scorpio and it's Uranus, right? And Pluto is in Aquarius, Aquarius being the ruling sign of Uranus, and Pluto being the ruling planet of Scorpio, where the moon is at. So there is this very unpredictable, extreme, deep, emotional energy today that's going to really be lit up. And this can really go back to when Mars squared Pluto, which is building up to this Mars conjunction with Uranus, which is going to be so fucking intense. Okay. And I looked, I couldn't find, every time I went back through the Uranus transit, over hundreds of years, I couldn't find where Mars and Uranus met during its transit at 26 degrees. It was always around there, right? 24, 25, But the only transit I could find where Mars and Uranus conjunct at 26 degrees was in 1942, February 1942. And I think I mentioned this. Okay. But if you really want to look at the history of what happened there, it was December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor. Okay. 2 months later, with the Mars-Uranus conjunction in February 1942. It was when an executive order was passed in America to put all the Japanese in concentration camps, right? And it was a giant battle off the coast of Japan that got really extreme and intense, which happened the exact day, which would have been, I think, March 1st. But it was that February that built up to that moment of, things just kind of popped. It's very unexpected. It was like, what the fuck? Like, now we're going to put Japanese people into, concentration camps. Like, this whole thing. Not saying that that's what's going to happen, but there is this is how the outer planet transits work. If you really want to see, the extremity of what this Mars-Uranus conjunction is going to be, I mean, look at what the fuck's going on, right? So, it is like, with this moon opposing Uranus, it's like, we can't get pulled into those crazy spaces, because we have to prepare that unexpected things are going to be popping up over this next month. And July is going to be one of the most intense, unexpected, unpredictable months of 2024, period. And so is November, It's simply just focusing on the astrology, not the actual events that are taking place, but the astrology. And November and December is going to be really intense. But with this Mars-Uranus conjunction that's oncoming here, it's going to be pretty unpredictable. It's going to trigger us to really have to make changes in our lives, in our basic needs and our basic desires, and what makes us really, stable and secure. Like, our stability with Mars-Uranus conjunction is gonna be shaken up. Okay, so this moon opposing Uranus today we're gonna start getting glimpses of that. We got a glimpse when Mars squared Pluto. Now that this moon's in Scorpio, we're gonna start to get glimpses of what the buildup is leading towards this Mars-Uranus conjunction. So pay attention to that and be prepared that we're going to have to, things might get a little shaky, a little unstable, metaphorically speaking, like an earthquake or a volcano. That's the kind of Mars-Uranus energy where something just, bam, just pops off. And then we have to readjust our reality, our physical reality, which is Taurus. So, these things are going to pop up today. But I think too, like with this moon opposing Uranus, we can really look at things from the other side and find, some solutions of like, damn, like that was a fucking genius idea. Like I wish I would have thought of that before, or some really great insights just even on a creative level, because Venus and Mercury are still together, Uranus being the higher octave of Mercury, in my opinion. So I really think too, it's just like getting down to this place of like, okay, what are my desires and what makes me feel stable and what makes me feel secure, but where do my desires and my needs need to be met, right? On a level of, on the scorpionic level. So, and then Mars too is, almost, it's 3 degrees away from the second decan here. So Mars is picking up pace as Saturn is slowing down here. And I think it's important too with Mercury now really starting to move through Cancer, and Venus and Mercury are going to square the nodes. So we can start to feel like we're being pulled, like over this energy over these next couple days. It's like, man, like when it comes to our relationships and our identity, with these nodes, and the path that we're supposed to take karmically, or our destiny, or our future life and our past life, like it is like what we're about to be going through over these next few days, going into next week, is really like thinking about like, okay, like, what relationships make me feel secure, and what about myself makes me feel secure, what doesn't, and where do I need to readjust and make adjustments and, maybe change, your environment, or, rearrange your environment, rearrange your room. I think that's going to be coming up a lot too with Mercury and Cancer squaring the nodes. It's like, okay, I need to make some adjustments in my environment, to feel a little bit more like I'm at home, or feel like I'm, in a more secure space, where, I can start to really let my thoughts flow. Because sometimes when, your environment or your bedroom or your home gets a little cluttered, or you let things go, which I think too with Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, Saturn about to slow down, Neptune at the last degree, there is going to be this kind of awakening and awareness, especially when Neptune goes retrograde, where like the Neptune filter falls off. That's what I always kind of feel like when Neptune goes retrograde is, it's not like things get crazy and weird and delusional, right? Like that's when Neptune's going direct, is when that spiritual vibration is super high, on every level. That creative, beautiful, spiritual, high vibrational Neptunian frequency is very powerful and potent when Neptune's moving direct. And also the delusional side of Neptune and the deceptive side of Neptune. But when Neptune goes retrograde, that's when like that filter falls away, and it's just like, you're not seeing things for how you want them to see with Neptune direct. It's like when Neptune goes retrograde, it's like you're seeing things for how they are, and it's like, oh shit, like, I didn't really look at that honestly. So with Neptune and Saturn in Pisces here getting ready to go retrograde, like the filter is going to slowly start to come off here, and reality is going to start to set in a whole new way, right? So, and this is with Mars, Uranus getting ready to make their conjunction over these next few weeks, July 15th, 16th to be exact. So look at look at what's going on in the world around those dates, okay? The 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, that whole week is going to be insane. It's going to be wild. So, and we can't even try to explain what the outcome is going to be because this is Uranus. We have no idea. All we know is it's unpredictable, it's extreme, it's intense, can be volatile with Mars, Uranus conjunction, volatility, with a malefic planet conjuncting and a more neutral planet. Uranus to me is more neutral, like Mercury. Things are going to get really fucking wild. So prepare for that. Which it can be exciting too. Uranus is always exciting. So my throat today started swelling up again on the right side. So it's a little hard to talk. So if I sound fucking weird, I'm sorry. Let's see what the cards have today. We have the Strength card. So it is. Like, even when things get wild or intense or, there's a lot of confusion going on. I've had so many conversations, even the readings this week. It's like people are really feeling like, man, like I'm just not completely like in my head right now. And to really have that strength and that courage to really just like surrender to the flow and the current right now, like we were just talking about Saturn and Neptune going retrograde. It's like, sometimes it feels like there's nothing to grab onto with Neptune here and Saturn getting ready to go retrograde in Pisces. It's really hard. So to have that strength and that courage to just stand in that, that place of surrender and not try to control things, that's a hard place to be. This is obviously a Leo card, right? So to not want to control every possible thing, you gotta have a lot of strength and acceptance and understanding and compassion to really just let go and understand that, all the answers are going to come. All the answers always do come at the right time, and all the right things always show up when it is supposed to be, so especially with Saturn getting ready to go retrograde and Neptune here, if the sun's going to square Neptune tomorrow. We're really feeling it build up. Tomorrow it'll be exact. But, it takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage to just surrender, surrender to the infinite, right? The Strength card is the card of infinity, okay? And when we can be in that strength and in that courage, all the right things show up, and it's like, wow, why did I overthink in the first place? Why did I get so stuck in trying to control the outcome? In these times right now, we can't control the outcome of, the situations in our personal lives. We can't control the outcome of the crazy stuff that's going on in the world. Like, this is such an intense time here. And July is going to be really wild, and it's going to be fun. Okay, I'm Saturn Aquarius on my midheaven. I like Uranus energy. I'm also a Taurus, so I love Taurus rising. So I love, this Mars in Taurus, even though Mars is not the best in Taurus, but still, like, it is. Like, I'm embracing riding the wave and, going surfing. I think being able to surf here with Neptune at the 29th degree, it's like, if you're not good at surfing by now, with this 15-year transit with Neptune in Pisces, like, I don't know what to tell you. So, and it's just like, I was sitting, on the beach the other day with a friend, and I'm looking at the waves. I'm just like, and I don't go to the beach often. I wish I did. But it's just like, like every wave, like every time it comes over, it's like no wave is the same. Like every wave is different. Like the size of the wave, the speed, the intensity, it's all different. So, no moment is the same. We can't control the outcome. We just have to take things in the moment for as they are. And, when those downloads come through, like today with the moon opposing Uranus, it's like, we just have to like run with it and move with it and trust that, like, oh, wow, this download was for me. Like, if this information was meant for me, or this message or this synchronicity was meant for me, and that's the beauty of really being in line and being in sync with the astrology and with the transits and watching, it play out in the sky. I was sitting on the beach and here comes a fucking meteor right over my head. And I'm like, man, it felt like a good moment of a message, right? And Mercury and Cancer, sitting by the water, here's a message, boom. And I was like, okay, I'm in the right place. Everything's all good. I can't control the outcome. I have to accept the moment, with things going on in my personal life. So that's come up a lot this week, and definitely with this Neptune, Saturn, Pisces energy, and Mars, Uranus, acceptance is a big theme, that's going to be coming up here. And making quick decisions, thinking on your feet. Mars and Taurus does not think quick on its feet, right? But Uranus is like, you better. Shock you with a cattle prod. Anyway, have a wonderful Wednesday, and I will see you all tomorrow on Thursday. Peace out.